what are the various WHO guidelines to transfer technology from one point to another point, and what are these points? We have coined it as a, or it is what from developer, that means what, R&D units to the manufacturer, and in other case it may be from one manufacturing site to the other manufacturing sites. So if we revise that, what are the various points we have discussed under that guidelines? That guidelines are called as, normally it is given under Q10 guidelines for WHO, right? It is Q10 guidelines for the tech transfer, right? So in that, what we have discussed, that project plan should encompass to quality aspects of project based upon the principles of quality risk management, right? Means first of all, whenever there is a tech transfer from sending unit, what we discussed yesterday, that is SU capital, to the RU, that is receiving unit. Okay, so here after we are going to say like RU to SU to RU, or maybe RU to SU, that is from sending unit to the receiving unit. Means sending unit is the one who has developed that product, and now that product technology has to be transferred to the receiver, right? So that may be a manufacturer, or this may be amongst the different manufacturing sites. Okay, so here first of all, in first guideline, what they are saying, that you are supposed to have a project. Okay, a project manager should be there. So in terms of project, it should be transferred from one point, that is your sending unit, to the receiving unit. So in that, what is the important thing is with respect to the quality risk management. Means sending unit has developed that product, and they must have observed some of the important critical points. That points, if not properly addressed, then it would lead to, or it may cause a what you can say, deviation in the quality of that product. Therefore it should be well in advance, or when there is a technology transfer, at that point only it should be critically evaluated under quality risk management. Okay, and it should be handed over to the receiving units. That is the first guideline we have discussed yesterday. Then the capabilities, one of the important point we have discussed, that is capability means what? Key, for example, if some process has to be carried out for a particular thing, and in that process, if they have used a kind of equipment which is working on a particular principle, so same equipment principle should be used at the receiving unit, right? At the receiver side. Means at that time, I have given you one example, like if you are using a planetary mixer of 20 kg capacity in a R&D lab, that means you can use planetary mixer, but it is not necessary that you are supposed to use only 20 kg. You can scale up over here, right? Means 200 kg capacity planetary mixer can be used. That was we have discussed in the second important guideline with respect to this, is what it should means capabilities can be same, but it is not necessary that they should be identical. Means a capacity wise you can change it. Okay, so that was the third second point with respect to Q10 guidelines, right? Yesterday we spoke about this. Then we have discussed there is a technology gap analysis. Means whatever the technology gaps are there, and now this, if you see, these technology gaps ideally finds with the receiving unit. Okay, because since the product is being developed by the sending unit, they have that means they have already filled that gap, technology gap, and that's why they have developed that product. But since now this technology has to be transferred from sending unit to the receiving unit, that time the technology gap could be there at the receiving end. So this gap should be properly filled. And how you are going to fill it? Unless and until you are not going to identify that gap, technical gap at the receiving unit, then once it will be identified, then it can be addressed or it can be filled. That's why this technological gap analysis should be done at the receiving site. Okay, then at various levels, documented evidences should be taken from the receiving unit that the product can be routinely reproduced. Okay, means when this technology transfer is being done from this sending unit to the receiving unit, what is important that this receiving unit infrastructure or maybe the facility should produce that product very routinely. It should not be like one batch can be done and rest of the time it may not work over there. So what is the expected here? Whatever the technology has been transferred to the receiving unit, that time that receiving unit should have a capability infrastructure wise and all procedure wise, it should be capable to produce that product at a routine level with the desired quality specifications. That is again very important. Okay, so that is also mentioned in the Q10 guidelines of this with respect to technology transfer. Then knowledge exchange is required among sending unit and receiving unit. At the same time, whatever the knowledge is been transferred from sending unit to the receiving unit, it should be properly means it should be very clear, it should be very transparent. Okay, so that's what we have just discussed in yesterday's lecture, that was related to the Q10 guidelines for the technology transfer. Today we are going to discuss a next point, that is technology transfer terminologies, means what are the various terminologies will come across while going for technology transfer. So that what we are going to study in the beginning of this lecture. Later we'll come to the technology protocol preparation. Okay, so we'll begin with the terminologies. Now if you see here, there are many terminologies we have already come across, right? Means it is not something we have not gone through. Okay, means for example, if I ask that what is API, now API is what? API is again a terminology. Okay, what is API? What is API? It's a active pharmaceutical ingredient. Okay, so we know this. What is API? API is a drug substance which is intended to be into the product to exhibit its pharmacological effect so that it can treat the pathological conditions. Okay, so that is what API. So I will not discuss API over here. Okay, now same way there may be others like drug, excipients. I mean, there are many more terminologies are there which you already know. Okay, so I have just selected some of them which actually you should know and it is new to you. Okay, so as for that, the first terminology you should know with respect to technology transfer is change control. Okay, now this change control is the first terminology will come across in technology transfer with respect to pharmaceutical industry. Now what is this change control? It's a formal system. It's a formal system in which qualified representatives of appropriate disciplines review. Now this is a key word over here in this terminology. Review, propose or actual changes that might affect a validated status. So what is this? This is change control. Means change control, remember it is with respect to the validated what you can say procedure or a process of that product manufacturing. Means the product is already manufactured, the data is been generated, the data procedures, everything is been validated, and the document evidences is been already forwarded. Now once this is the case, then if somehow there are certain changes has to be made with respect to the procedure or a process or anything which respect to that manufacturing process, that time if you want to change that procedure, then that procedure will be changed under a formal system, and that formal system is nothing but your change control. Okay, that is nothing but your change control. Means that since if you see this word, it's a validated status, means the product is already manufactured by a validated method, validated procedures and processes. So that is all there, it is already validated procedure, but somewhere somehow because of some maybe in process quality, you have to change something. So that change will be properly done, and that change will be done under a formal procedure. That procedure is nothing but your change control. So that's why we are making a definition is a formal system in which a qualified representative, now this is very important, qualified representative of appropriate disciplines. Okay, means particularly something has to be changed. Now the change control means why we are going for this change. So a personnel who is going to address that thing should be qualified in that particular discipline. That's why they are saying qualified representatives of appropriate disciplines. Now they will review that propose. Now this could be a propose or a actual changes that might affect a validated status of that manufacturing. So that is what a first term called as change control we have learned. Second thing or second terminology which we should know is control strategy. What is that? Control strategy. Now what is this control strategy? It is a planned set of controls. Now here a single control, right? A single change you are supposed to make. Now here you have to change in some of the time that you are supposed to change a set of or multiple changes. So in that case we can say it as a set of change or set of controls. Okay, so it's a planned set of controls derived from current product and process understanding that assures process performance and product quality. Okay, so what is control strategy? Now this is a strategy has to be submitted if you are going to make some of the changes with respect to the validated status of manufacturing process. So what is that control strategy? It is a planned set of controls. Okay, it is a planned set of controls which is derived. Now this set of controls is derived from where it could be standing. Okay, and this particular set of controls with respect to current product and process understanding is going to assure process performance and product quality. So that will be referred as a control strategy. So it will be all together given. It will be all together given under control strategy that these are the planned set of controls we want to do in a current product and product understanding, because it is going to assure that process that will assure process performance and the finally eventually with the product quality, right? So that is control strategy. The second term we have learned today is control strategy. Now third point with respect to this is critical control point. Critical control point. Now what do you mean by critical control point? It is capital CCP. What is this? It is a step at which It is a step at which control can be applied, and is essential to prevent or eliminate a pharmaceutical quality hazard. Okay, what is that? It is a critical control point is what? It is a step at which control can be applied and is essential to prevent or eliminate a pharmaceutical quality hazard, okay, or to reduce it to an acceptable level. That is your critical control point. Now, what do you understand by this critical control point? Now, this could be with respect to a important step. Now, this step, if not controlled, then it may lead to the pharmaceutical hazard, or this may go up to that level which would not be acceptable by the regulatory authorities. Clear? Means that particular step has to be controlled immediately. Okay, so that step will be referred as a critical control point step or a critical control point. Okay, now it's a type of control, means we are needed to control it. Okay, now what is that? It is a step at which control can be applied and is essential to prevent or eliminate a pharmaceutical quality hazard. Now this is very important. Okay, pharmaceutical quality hazard, or to reduce to an acceptable level. Means, for example, if we discuss this with respect to the parenteral preparations, we can say that in parenteral preparations, particularly low volume parenterals, there is a scope to use some preservatives, right? In large volume parenterals we cannot use, but in small volume parenterals we can use some of the preservatives. So in that case, these preservatives acceptable level is very low. Okay, now if somehow somewhere during the manufacturing process we come to know that the preservative level is going beyond the acceptable level, so that time the change control is very important. Okay, so that change control with respect to that particular step means what? At the addition of preservative. So addition of preservative could be your critical control point, right? It could be your critical control point which has to be controlled at that step only. Okay, a step at which control can be applied and essential to prevent or eliminate a pharmaceutical quality hazard or to reduce it to an acceptable level. Understood? That is your critical control point. Okay, the next terminology we are going to learn today is your design qualification. Is your design qualification. What is this design qualification? It is denoted by DQ. Okay, design qualification is with respect to documented evidences. Okay, documented evidences that premises, means the facility, supporting systems, all your utilities, equipments and the processes have been set up as of GMP. What is this? Design qualification. Design qualification is what? It's a documented evidence that premises, supporting systems, utilities, equipments and process have been set up as of GMP. Understood? So this is what your design qualification. Okay, means documented evidences has to be provided. The documented evidences has to be given with respect to what? that all the premises is as per made, means for example, CGMP, if you see premises facility schedule M, I think we have using, so it should be made, premises should be made, facility should be constructed as per GMP schedule M. So like that means here whatever we are doing as per some norms, right? Means like for premises we are having GMP norms, process and all regulatory things, like for example we have seen that in case of technology transfer we are having the WHO guidelines under IQ 10. So that is what you can say technology transfer terminologies. Okay, so along with this we also have some of the important terminologies like acceptance criteria. Okay, acceptance criteria is what? It is a measurable terms under which test results will be considered acceptable. Okay, so I will not explain this to you because as the name suggests, acceptance criteria is what? It is a measurable term. Okay, so that will measure the particular thing is within the acceptable level or not. Okay, so that is there. Then sort of like corrective action is another term which is used in technology transfer. That is any action to be taken when the results of monitoring at a critical control point indicate a loss of control. Okay, so corrective action is again one of the term under technology transfer. Is what? Corrective action means what? It's an action to be taken when the results of monitoring at critical control point. Okay, means here critical, what we are discussing along with this, it is visible, I think it is not visible. Along with this is what we are learning. A next term, for example 5, corrective action. Okay, so corrective action is what a term? It's a action to be taken when we are monitoring critical control point, right? We are monitoring critical control point sorry, critical control point, and which is suggesting that there will be a loss, means there may be a pharmaceutical hazard or it may go beyond acceptable level. Okay, so to address this we are having corrective actions. So that's why these terms you understand now, it is associated with each other. First of all, you should know what is critical control point. For example, we have seen or we have discussed that in case of parenteral formulation, preservative is addition of preservative is important critical control point. Now, since it is going beyond the limit, okay, that may lead to the quality hazard or beyond acceptable level. So we are taking corrective action by monitoring critical control point. So that is your corrective action. So this one is again what you can say term which we may come across while technology transfer. Then there are certain design space is another term which is there. Now what is the design space? It is a multi-dimensional combination and interaction of input variables, right? That is material attributes, for example process parameters that have been demonstrated to provide assurance of quality. Okay, it's a multi-dimensional combination and interaction of input variables. Now this design space, if you see, design space is I think after 5th, this is the 6th one. Okay, I will write over here design space. Now this, as we are discussing the terminology, it is very difficult to understand what do you mean by design space, because design space is not with respect to one point, rather design space is a multi-dimensional what you can say area where we are going to address this design space to build quality into product. Okay, to build quality into a product. So that's why this design space is a multi-dimensional. Okay, it is a multi-dimensional where now this is with respect to, if you see QBD, some of you must know this QBD, that is quality by design approach. Okay, this is very new concept comes into manufacturing of pharmaceutical products called as quality by design approach. Okay, so this quality by design approach where we are going to first of all see what is the design space, because unless and until we don't know what is the design space, we cannot understand what are the various quality attributes going to change or going to hamper the product quality. Okay, so that's why this design space is a very important, again if you see a term, and that term is multidimensional combination, as I mentioned, of input variables. Okay, this is multidimensional and interaction, rather we say, of variables. Okay, it's a multidimensional and it's a interaction of variables we are supposed to understand, and so that we can build a quality in a product. Okay, so that is a design space. Now that is QTPP, and that is all comes, which is very actually nice to learn with respect to QBD. Okay, but I will not come, or I will not bring QBD over here, because here we are just discussing with the term. Okay, what do you mean by design space? So design space is what? It's a multi-dimensional approach where we are going to find out the space where actually various variables comes, and that variables going to affect the product quality. Okay, so that is what I said, it is under quality by design approach, that is QBD approach. So that is very important over there in QBD, but here we just understand that it is a multi-dimensional approach, and where interaction of variables has been studied to address what is the space of or what is the space we can create to have a product quality. Okay, so that is again a very important terms. Then next is drug master file, that is DMF. Now this you may be aware about this drug master file. It's a detailed information concerning a specific facility, process or product submitted to the medicines regulatory authority, intended for incorporation into application for marketing authorization. Okay, so DMF is what? It's a drug master file where we are giving a very detailed information about the specific facility, process and product to the regulatory authority, so that they can give you approvals. Okay, now along with this you must know what is in process control, you know what is good manufacturing practices. Okay, so that is all other, what you can say, terms which comes across when we are going for technology transfer. Like there is a operational qualification. Operational qualification is with respect to instrument, always remember. Okay, performance qualification, you must have learned this actually. You might have learned this in with respect to instrumentation is operational qualification, performance qualification and installation qualification. Okay, so this is with respect to instruments. Okay, this is with respect to instrument. For example, if I are talking about installation qualification, means what? The performance of test